Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Spooky. And we are just thrilled to have two guests today. We've got returning to the show, friend of the podcast, Mark Roberts of the Dead Cards. So welcome,
hey
Mark. We can't get rid of that guy. We've tried, and he just keeps showing up.
Hey, man. It's like the old cat.
Penny.
That's right. Stop feeding me.
And then we are joined by writer, director, creator, just incredibly talented Billy Pon. So welcome, Billy.
And
Bloody Bill.
Plus size teen model.
Hey, with this COVID stuff, we're all kind of plus size.
I was born that way, apparently, so that's what my mom says. So.
I had hair till about March. And then
I got cancer, I guess about a year and a half ago, 2 years, and lost all my hair, man. Nose hair.
Really?
All of it, yeah. But it all come back like pretty lush.
I know, so look at that.
To be 50 years old and still have this, even going through cancer, I guess I got kind of lucky. So.
I'm jealous. See, I'm 50 years old, and you can see what's happened to me.
No, all the stuff you're talking about, I can tell we're the same age because of the Con, the Meister Burger guy, or whatever, all that stuff. Yeah, it's stuck in my DNA.
Same here.
That's right. There was no better time to grow up than the 80s.
That's right.
70s, 80s, even the early 90s. That's a great time to grow up. Can't beat it.
Well, what's going to happen to these, the kids now 30 years from now with the technology they have? Will they have the same kind of stories and stuff? I just don't think they're going to be as, friendly to other people as people are now, because they're kind of losing human interaction lately, it seems like.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some repercussions.
I think so. Well, I think we're seeing that now.
Yeah. Well, and this generation especially, they don't really hang out in groups anyway. Not like when we were growing up, it was rare if we weren't with a group of people most of the time. Boys or boys and girls both, and you just hung out with a group all the time. Yeah. They don't really do that anymore.
Mm-mm. Neighborhood kids would get together and spend the summers, having a good time and stuff. And sometimes some would move away and other ones would move in, and it was just part of the adventure.
Yeah. I always thought that, in a way, we are kind of lucky not to have, cable TV like it is now with all the streaming services. When we got cable, I think we got it in 78, and it was, you got like Atlanta and Chicago. That was cable, and it may be HBO, but it forced you to, like, anytime a movie came out or a really big TV show, I mean, it was a major event because you just didn't have the variety and the quantity that you have now. So I don't know if that's good or bad, because you have so many good options now. But back then, if something like Star Wars came out, I mean, it was a monster. It'd be at the theater.
And you only had what you had, remembering it too, or sneaking out to go see it 3 or 4 times. But it wasn't like you're going to pop your VHS tape in to watch it or nothing. You just had your memories. So I think that's what cultivated my imagination, I think, is just thinking about those stuff that I think I saw or thought I saw. But of course, in the early 80s, what did we have? We had those mom and pop video stores that changed our lives. Yeah. Especially that back room with the porn in it. That was the best one.
What?
There was a back room?
With a special notebook.
Notebook. I worked in a couple video shops growing up, and that's the truth. There was always a back room, behind the curtain, or had a little. You had the special notebook because there wasn't really any computers to put it in.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that sold you back then were covers too. Like, the cooler the cover of the movie nowadays usually means the worse the movie. But back then, if it had a cool cover, I'd rent it. I didn't care even what the title was. If it had a cool cover or a monster on the front, I always rented it. Or especially the topless girl, so it got rented.
And the monster.
I remember sneaking downstairs at a friend's house to watch Dressed to Kill. I don't know if you remember that one.
I might.
But it starts out, it's a shower scene. So
don't ruin my image of you, Mike.
Okay. I know, a couple of preteen boys shower scene. We didn't think it got any better than that. Well, then the woman in the shower's throat gets cut out of nowhere. I mean, we've had nightmares our entire lives. We talk about that once in a while. It's still giving us nightmares. Did you have a movie like that kind of affected you that way?
I'd probably say The Shining, probably. I want to say when cable first come out, they played the same movie almost over and over again. So it seemed like it was always on. And the parents didn't let me watch it. So I waited till they went to bed. And then I went and turned it on and watched The Shining late one night by myself. And that one kind of had me pretty bad, you know, when I was like 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah.
But I was very intrigued with it, you know, as far as it's something that stuck in my mind. And, I mean, all that stuff, Star Wars made me want to be a filmmaker. And I always say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre made me want to be a horror filmmaker. So by that time, that's the movie that kind of got me scared. Then I started watching everything I could horror-wise.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you get started in the entertainment business?
Well, I knew I always wanted to do it. And since you're the same age, you know, too, is like, now, you know, every kid's got a phone that's better than anything we ever had in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, or even 2000s. Their phone's better camera quality, you know, than some of those cameras were, filming cameras back then. But I just knew I had to find a way in, so I went to a TV station as like in my 20s to get my foot in the door, because I figured, hey, I could use cameras, I could learn to edit, I could learn to write and stuff. And then I worked my way up to create services, and then I just started doing like thousands of, you know, crappy local television commercials, promos, and all this kind of stuff. So that's what I knew. I knew it would like kind of cut my teeth and get my feet wet, as far as doing this kind of stuff for a living. And then finally, after 8 or 9 years, I said, okay, I'm going to give this horror thing a shot. And I did a short called Doll Boy. And I just did that to see if I could do it. And I kind of hate it. Even to this day, I hate it. This was done in 2010. But a friend prodded me to put it in a film festival, and it got picked up. And then they go, well, do another one. And I did another one. And I thought anytime you make anything, it just gets picked up at every film festival. But I've had friends say, no, that's not the case, Billy. You got to make good stuff. But it got picked up last I heard. It was, I mean, it went on for, a decade. But I bet it's been in over 100 film festivals and stuff.
Really?
So, yeah.
Really? So that, and that was the prequel to Circus?
Yeah. He was in it. I mean, I would have liked to made Circus first, but I would tell anybody starting out in filmmaking is actually to try to do a fake trailer, because you could spend a weekend doing that. And that goes for you guys too. If y'all want to do something fun with your kids and stuff, is to do a fake trailer. And if you can pull that off in a couple of weekends, then you're ready to try a short, you know. But a feature, man, is a whole nother monster. It's hard to entertain somebody, you know, for an hour and a half, and much less, like you guys were saying about their attention span because of technology and stuff. It's an impossibility to get somebody's attention now. So if you have a halfway successful movie these days, indie wise, you're doing pretty dang good.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I kind of like that progression. So you started with a trailer, went to a short, and then into your first.
And that character Doll Boy that was in the short, he's in this world of the Circus of the Dead, but I knew I was going to have to hire some actors, not local, someday, but I figured with Doll Boy I could just do a little test. And my brother-in-law was Doll Boy, so that was easy to do. We found my boss let me use an old Gibson's building, you know, an old Gibson store as the location. And, you know, we left all that stuff up there and took a break one week, and some of the other real estate people didn't know that worked for the company I worked for, and they went up there and found all that hanging shoes and dead body and blood, and they called the police. It was a big story down here locally, though, but it just helped because now everybody said, you know, that happened, but it scared that one guy that worked for our company really, really bad. He went back there because we had a lady that was like, we got this rotted woman that's sitting Indian style with the fake baby in her stomach, you know, and stuff. So there's a really macabre stuff back there, a lot of rotted bodies and stuff, and it just freaked this guy, and he had 2 Japanese businessmen with him. So it freaked him out really, really bad, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I'd be the same way. I shouldn't laugh because I'd be the same way.
I don't know that anything freaks me out anymore, you guys. It's like you turn on Facebook or something, the stupid things you see in the world these days. Yeah. I don't know what it would take to scare me now anymore. Like I said, probably Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Talk a little bit about Circus of the Dead. You know, how would you describe that? What's it about?
Well, we did that. We shot that in late 2013. We did a rough cut screening at Texas Frightmare Weekend in May of 2014. And they let us do it for 2 nights because there's such demand. So we probably had about, those 2 nights, probably had about 3,000 or 4,000 people in those rooms watching and stuff. And it went really, really good. And I was really, really proud. But then come the point of trying to shop it to distributors. Right now, this is the stuff that people that are listening now, you want to make films or do anything, listen to what I'm saying. Is that's where you're going to get screwed, is that business side of it. Luckily, I worked for like this multi-millionaire guy who doesn't worry about that, and he was kind of overseeing all my business stuff. So he said, well, I'll tell you what, Billy, before you sign any of these deals that you say are so great, do your research, look these people up, look these companies up, ask these other people that's done movies with them, how it worked out working with them and all this kind of stuff. So I start doing that, and I send out, I don't know, 100-something emails, and like 70 of them come back, and they're all, 99.9% bad on these people. Right. Yeah, so I didn't go with them. So then at the time, there's this new thing out called Distributor. And what Distributor is an aggregator. Now, I don't know if you know what an aggregator is, but basically it was kind of harder, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 years ago to try to get on Amazon, Netflix, and all this. And you kind of need somebody to go open the door and say, hey, this is Billy, and here's Billy's movie. Well, this place is called an aggregator, and they're supposed to help out the indie guy so that way they wouldn't be screwed over. Well, long story short, they went bankrupt and screwed me over and left me out to dry late 2019. Now, a lot of other filmmakers are crying about it, but I said, you know what? I tell you what, I said, maybe that's a good thing. I'll go and try to sell it to a bigger company that I like what I've heard about. That was Dread. And I contacted them, and somebody said, yeah, we'll take it to a meeting on Wednesday and see what they say. Now, in this business, I don't know what you guys, but a lot of people say a lot of things and they don't do it.
That's right.
But this guy, Josh Milliken at Dread, actually did. And the next thing I know, they say, yeah, we're totally in the movie. Let's make it happen. And we made it happen. Now, to go back to your question is, now that I was getting, I don't know, 90% good reviews, which is really hard in any horror movie. Sure. I mean, people shit on Star Wars out there, for crying out loud. But I was getting really good feedback. But now I noticed since Dread's taking it over, more people are watching it, and more people are looking. I'm looking at reviews now. Now they're hitting about 50-50, which I think is still good. But most of them are saying, this is a big piece of garbage. This is too rapey and all this kind of stuff. So what kind of movie I think it is? I think it's one you need to watch, with that in mind, that it is going to be brutal and it is going to be mean. But it was done that way on purpose. It's supposed to be mean-spirited because that's basically what it's about, is taking your family for granted or taking things in life for granted, because it could always be a lot worse. That's what the movie's about in a nutshell. And I don't like to pull punches in my filmmaking. So. Yeah,
well, and I think,
that's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
yeah. I was gonna say Mark really enjoyed it, and I think that's probably the case with most people, is you don't pull punches, so they're very divided. Some people love it, some people don't. So that's just the way it goes. And did I understand that you're working on a sequel?
Yeah, the fans are demanding a sequel. I'm not going to lose as much sleep over the sequel, because now that I have this out here, the fans tell me what I want to do. Like you're into comic books and stuff, so to me, I think when you listen to the fans on that stuff, then you're going to get it right. Because they kind of know more about what they want than what you want, the creator, I think. So I've listened to them and wrote a really good story about the things they want to see and happen. And I think that's what we're going to do next time. So it'll be one for the fans, is what I think I'm going to do on the next one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you thought about, putting that into like graphic novel form, something like that?
Oh, I would love to, beyond More Than Life, because when we wrote it, I wrote it with my buddy, lifelong buddy, Lee Ankrum, who's the co-writer. And that first script, they always say, what is it, like, it was 300 pages. It was something ridiculous. And people were saying, that movie's going to be too long. You don't need to go past this. But there was so much inner monologue stuff, and we didn't shoot any of that, so it didn't fit. But I always thought someday a graphic novel on all this inner monologue stuff is just beautifully written and very, very, very good. So it's finding the right artist that wants to do it and all that kind of stuff. I feel weird because it's like being a filmmaker. Hey, you want to join, this with me and do this? It's like you never want to ask anything for free. And it's like some of those actors say, well, hey, he's wanting actors to work for free and stuff. But you know how all that goes. It's kind of a scratch your back, I'll scratch. Wait,
Right.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a George W. thing. Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. But I would. It's just finding the right artist that would be interesting in doing it, and I got to kind of like what they do a little bit too. So it's just finding the perfect blend of that. I've met some really good artists, but they don't. They have regular day jobs and stuff too, so they don't seem like they have time. So to answer your question, you send me a good artist, I got some good stuff.
Mark, don't you got a good artist?
Probably got a few.
Yeah. Do you do graphic art stuff like that? Graphic novels?
I wish I did. I had a.
You do digital stuff.
I had another, actually another director producer hit me up for that. And I was like, man, I wish I could hand draw that stuff.
Same.
And you know, there was a point when I was hand drawing, but that was a long time ago. So it takes me forever to knock out like one thing now. It'd be awful.
And
I'd be like 100 years old.
Is right. If you how does somebody do a graphic novel? You got to be the most dedicated artist, and I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I can sit and hash out something pretty good, like a doodle, an X-rated doodle or something drawing, but I don't know how it would kick out, so many cells and all this kind of stuff and pages. It'd be impossible.
Yeah, it'd be rough.
Yeah. The people that can draw that way, I don't, and they're usually fast. They can knock that stuff out, and it looks great. But you're right. With that particular film, especially, you'd have to have just a fantastic artist, or it wouldn't come across. Yeah, we got to hook that up, Mark.
Yeah, I'll definitely check around. I mean, that would be pretty awesome to have some graphic art with that.
I think all, like my new movie Cowboys from Hell, it's the same thing. I don't know what it is, Mark, but you've seen the movie. It really lends itself to graphic art, that's for sure, because it's detailed, and we've created worlds and stuff in there. I don't, not to pull the punches, but every little thing in the background should have its place or whatever too. If I watch indie movies and they got like a blue tarp behind them and they're supposed to be at a circus, I call bullshit. We brought a real circus and stuff out. I can tell those details and stuff, and that's usually where indie films fail. That or CGI gunfire, when somebody's shooting a gun, there's no kickback on the hand.
Yeah,
a machine gun, and it should have some kind of jerk or something to it. But those things drive me bananas. Fake CGI blood shooting out of somebody and all that. So I'm more of a fan of the 70s, probably in filmmaking, and that's what I try to stick to, is that, but with a digital camera. So
right.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, and I wanted to ask you about the Cowboys from Hell, because it's kind of a Western horror movie, which sounds awesome. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was a passion project when I did Circus of the Dead. Mark, you remember the trooper Brad Potts that got run over?
Yes.
Yeah. He come out there, and when I first started this movie, I was scared of hiring Hollywood actors, because I thought, man, they're going to be $1 million and all this. But it's like, after making my first movie, man, I go, actors just want to work. And if it's a good role, they'll really want to work. So, and he told me, he goes, why don't you give me a good role like you gave Bill Oberst in Popcorn? And I said, I can write it. And he goes, bullshit. Everybody says that. Nobody does nothing. So that's what that is. It's a passion project between, me and him. And it's a promise I made to him. So we're both one of those people that I had the poor health with the cancer, and he's up there having some health issues too. So it's like we're in a race to try to do it before one of us dies, is what we're trying to do. So, yeah. But it's a movie kind of like Evil Dead meets True Grit, or The Exorcist meets the Cowboys with John Wayne. It's kind of like along those lines. Very mean and brutal. No CGI gunfire, no CGI blood squids.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. How far along are you with that one?
Well, I got the story, and I'm playing with the story and stuff. I promised the wife that until this COVID stuff goes, that I won't venture out, because she's worried about that chemotherapy killing my immune system and stuff. So
be careful there.
Yeah, so I've been taking it careful. I've only been sneaking out maybe once or twice a week to eat dinner and stuff and wear my mask and stuff. But knock on wood, so far so good. So we'll see. But like I said, it's just that if that cancer taught me anything, it's like quit waiting and get your shit done, because you don't know how many tomorrows you have. So that's what I need to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Don't be messing around with your health right now. if you're already compromised, you don't want to risk that.
Now, you haven't watched the movie yet, right?
I have not.
And are you a horror guy though?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Because I'm a big chicken. So I was telling Mark, I'll watch it and I'll probably enjoy it, but my eyes will probably be closed through half of it.
Well, it's not much. It's not like there's no jump scares or nothing like that. It's more of just a thriller, I dare say, and it's just I think you'll be okay. And I don't think there's much jump scares. Just
the blood and gore won't bother me.
Yeah, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just put your phone down, and then remember to watch past credits. Yeah, and I tell everybody, I feel like maybe the first 15, if you can make it 15, 20 minutes in, I'm going to get you sold because that's when it all kicks in. So it's just, unfortunately, sometimes you got to put parts in the movie that just tell the story that you just got to do that. So I put the slow part first. Yeah. But after that 20 minutes, man, we're going to put the foot on the gas and it ain't going to stop.
Well,
he's not kidding either because I was watching that and I was like, yeah, I like this. I'm watching. I'm like,
I gotta watch.
And then all of a sudden, I was like, whoa.
You will drop your jaw on the ground once or twice and all that. And it might be a good one to watch with your kid, too, if he's in college now or whatever. I mean, it shows some clown penis, and he'll get a good laugh out of that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he's in school for film editing, so I think he wants to watch it just to pick up some techniques.
He should. And when he's ready to get into that business, too, he needs to pick my brain. Because I'll tell you what, I'll tell you how to do it and how not to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be all. He'd love that. Yeah, he would love that. Well, and so I heard that the credits of that one kind of set up the sequel.
Yeah, it shows a doll boy at the end of it. It's not too much of a secret. It just kind of answers. It basically finishes off Doll Boy is what it does. Is basically the survivor of Doll Boy ends up at the end of that one, and it kind of finishes that off for the people. And that's what I was telling you is it's like, I guess kind of like Tarantino is I have this one world that kind of intertwines. Now, how Cowboys from Hell intertwines with Circus of the Dead, I have no idea. But
you'll have a portal in there somewhere.
Well, there's even like I did this Mr. Fister trailer.
Yeah.
And that takes place in the 70s, but that guy has something to do with Mr. Blister. Is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So, yeah. So.
All right. So it ties in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything I do ties in some way. I just haven't thought about the Western one yet, but maybe it'll be like Back to the Future or something. I don't know.
You got to make it work. You got to make it work. I love that stuff. Stephen King does that with his stuff too.
Easter eggs. I love little Easter eggs and stuff.
Me too.
You can see me in one part of it. I'm in a mirror, but somebody said, "No, that's not you. That's the Fat Clown Noodle Dome." And so I said, "Well, if nobody else knows, then I guess I won't say nothing." So, but I try not to.
I thought you were Noodle Dome.
Yeah, no, a lot of people do. That's actually Ryan Clapp. He plays the kind of mentally slow, challenged clown, but in real life, he's the smartest tech guy I've ever met in my life. He actually did all the CGI stuff in Circus of the Dead. And I don't like CGI, but I feel like you got to use it on cover up and stuff sometimes. Like we had this car of gawkers that kept coming by in the back of the scene, and the best scene happened to have a car driving by, and he erased that whole car out of the shot, and you can't even tell.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Hey, I'd read where you had a movie that was kind of a Goonies Monster Squad type of movie.
Which is that one?
Where'd I hear it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what movie I have like that.
Well, let me think if I wrote it down. Oh, Charlie and the Monster Factory.
Oh, yeah. That's that one could win me an Academy Award, I think.
Well, I'm a big Monster Squad, and everybody loves Goonies, so yeah. I mean,
nobody does practical effects, right? Nobody does that. What have you made in old school? But it's basically, I don't want to set up and give it away too much. I mean, I tell you guys off the record, but on here, what do I say? It's basically like that, and you get this monster factory. They make up monsters that's like the cavalry, and the cavalry's actually werewolves that ride those World War II motorcycles, but they have like the leather chaps and army helmets on and stuff like that. And then the Air Force is like the vampires, and they turn into the bats and stuff. And the Frankensteins are the grunts that they had to put them together out of body parts they dug up in the cemetery. But it's a very kid-friendly movie, but just practical effects, but fun.
Yeah, it sounded fun. That sounds like one I would definitely like to watch. Does it have humor in it as well?
Yeah, it does. I don't think I could do anything without humor, but I think what it has in it the most, unlike my other things, is Cowboys from Hell's. I wrote it and Charlie and the Monster Factory when I was going through chemo and felt like I was about to die. So it has a lot to do about life and death. When I was young, I said, well, I hope I'm dead before I'm 25. I don't need to live old. But now that I'm 50, I would do anything to stay alive. So it's just how you change as a person. And when you do get close to dying, you don't want to die and you don't want to say goodbye.
That's
but
right.
I think as a kid, I don't think I ever understood the death thing. I think it hurt me real bad when friends or family and stuff would die. And I never did come to terms with it.
Sure.
So that's what this movie's about. Charlie and the Monster Factory is having to come to terms with death and stuff like that. So it's one of those movies that tears you up. So that would be the goal of this movie, is just something so touching, but it wrapped in a monster movie, a classic monster movie wrapper.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I would be on board for that one.
And you're going to hear me say something now, and people are going to say you dubbed this in because they're not going to believe it. But it would be a PG-13 Bloody Bill movie, which would be very, very rare. It'd be like, from the maker of Mr. Fister and Circus of the Dead comes this first.
Kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Kid-friendly.
I want the kids to get it. It'd be important to me is to make this for maybe a 10 to 12, or let's say 8 to 12-year-old, somewhere around that phase that has a grandparent about to die, or somebody's died close to them in their life or lost their parents or something, just to kind of help them along with that kind of thing.
Well, when you get to the casting part,
Mm-hmm.
I'm friends with Ryan Lambert, who was in Monster Squad.
All right.
We'll hook that up because that'd be a good nod. We'll stick him in there somewhere.
Well, every effects person in the world loves Monster Squad. Everyone I've ever worked with on a movie project. And that's what I said. I said, those effects guys are going to line up like crazy to come help on this one. And I really want it. If I get 100 different Frankensteins, I want 100 different Frankensteins. I don't want no CGI cartoons or nothing. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, see, we need to get you to come to West Virginia and film.
Yeah, it seems pretty deep and wooded and stuff. It looks really, really cool. I know Bill Oberst, who plays Popcorn. He's from South Carolina. I guess that's nowhere near that. What am I thinking? West Virginia is where the Hatfields and the McCoys in.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, what's that?
Was there a lot of Civil War stuff happening there too?
A lot of Civil War stuff through here. Yeah. Well, you've got Harper's Ferry, and
we have Mothman,
Antietam, and all that's through here. Yeah.
I'm a buff history man. I love American history like nobody. I love that stuff. We didn't get much Civil War down here, but we did have the Alamo in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a buddy that's got, his family owns a house that was built pre-Civil War, and supposedly it's not, but supposedly it's haunted by a headless Civil War general.
Well, that goes back to the wife has got me into ghost hunting with her and her friends.
Yeah.
Now I don't believe in much in life. I barely believe in love, probably, but she's got me doing this ghost hunting with her group called Scaredy Cats, and I've taught them how to use cameras and start filming themselves and stuff. So now you're talking. See, I'd love to come up there and investigate that one.
See, there you go. There's. I don't know if it's a there but documentary maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, because it had. There was a show called Haunted Collector, which was kind of a ghost hunter.
Oh, I remember that show. Yeah,
so they came to the house and did their investigation, and I was the friend that wasn't in the family that could kind of verify the story. So I got on there and said, "Oh yeah, there was blood on the stairs and all this stuff." None of it was true.
Yeah.
But I got to that was my 2 minutes of fame. So
I tell my wife that too. Is I said, she goes, "If you don't believe in this, why do you do it?" And I said, "Because I'm a entertainer. I know how to entertain people." That's why I do it. So.
That's right. Well, you never know. There's a lot of stuff that's not explained, and it can be kind of spooky even if it's not true.
I always think it's up here though. It's your imagination.
Oh, it totally is.
They stick me in those rooms, and we'll go to some dark places and stuff, and if I can get away with it, I'll say, well, I need a chair or something. I said, but I'll sit in there as long as you want. And they'll lock me in a room for 2 or 3 hours. They say in like 30 minutes, you'll hear me snoring and stuff like that.
Scary.
If I got a chair and it's not too overly hot or stinky or something, I'm just going to take a nap. I don't really care. So.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. So Mark, talk a little bit about your new line of cards, because I know they have a kind of horror bent to them.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a little while, and it seems like, no matter what show it is, like, with Walking Dead or whatever, there's a lot of this stuff is based around horror, obviously.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be neat to, give a nod to those people that are into horror and do a line, spinoff for my cards. And I thought, I think Horror Vault would sound pretty cool, hopefully. But, and I want to try to grab something from just all over, whether it's artists who come up with, their character creations, or people who cosplay, or, horror actors. So basically anything like that I thought would just be kind of cool to have a collection of, and I'm not looking for it necessarily to match, like Dracula matches the Mummy, matches,
Right.
It can be that, but it doesn't have to be that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, so I'm just looking for a little bit of everything. And of course, I watched Billy's movie, and I was like, man, these are awesome.
Yeah, they make good cards.
And I thought, and originally I wanted to do that with the Horror Vault, but since I've talked to Billy, I thought maybe I might put it back just under the dead cards, since I want to make it its own collection, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like with the other stuff, I just, I want to have a little bit of everything. And I probably would do that with some of his characters if he's cool with it. But
well, I'm pretty cool with anything, that. So I said,
yeah.
That's when people contact me. I say, yeah, will it make you happy in life? Then go do it. It's very rare I turn anybody down on anything unless it's something I feel is underhanded, or, trying to beat the system or something. So that's usually what I try to stick to.
I've got a few cards that I've made, just to kind of give, and I've shown them to Billy, but just kind of give a little look at what it might look like.
Yeah.
So here's the mom.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
And these are, like, I haven't shown these to anyone except for Billy yet. It's just kind of some concept cards. Just working on some concept stuff. And of course, I made one of Papa. So there's him.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, spooky.
But
I got Mark. I got those original. I redid all the Loteria cards, so that way I didn't get sued. So I had somebody draw all these, so I have all the real Loteria cards I can send you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So therefore, because if my lawyer sees that stuff, he's like, "You're going to get sued," because Simon Cowell bought the Loteria thing with his production company.
Yeah.
That's why in the movie we never said Loteria, because we thought Simon Cowell was going to sue us. So.
Right.
Go figure.
Come on, Simon.
That'd be cool. Yeah, and I kind of they're edited a bit back there too. So, but yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. I love that you're branching out. I mean, it's what you're doing definitely can lend itself to a lot of different genres, I think.
Well, what I want to try to do, what I've always tried to do with my cards, is try to give like another outlet for, either, whether it be a movie or the actors in the movie or the show or whatever, just kind of give them another outlet, another way for people to get it in their hands.
Right.
Just like with The Walking Dead, for me, the background actors, they're a large part of the show. Without them, you wouldn't have, just like Billy's saying, you could have CGI or you can have the real actors. I'd rather have the real actors.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, that's a big part of it. And, and I'm branching out. I'm starting to get some of the principal and A actors are going to end up on my cards. And then I just kind of saw the opportunity. I was like, man, I can actually talk to Billy, see what he thinks, And,
now, do you print the cards out too and stuff, Mark?
Yes, like I mean, I actually have them professionally done. So like you actually get a professionally printed set of cards as
Awesome.
far as yeah. So and you know, I haven't. I'm not gonna lie, I've not done any big projects, but I just started looking into you know the boxes and like actually getting full box set and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to, you know, since you were cool with it, I was like, you know, this is a good opportunity to start playing around with you know, some like I want to do a few different cards for the characters,
Yeah.
and I'd like to, you know, I'd like to dive in a little bit more. You know, I'd love to put the trooper on there, and you know,
Yeah, yeah.
just kind of have like a full set. I just think it'd be really cool.
And but what we did, we didn't shoot the cool. Like I sent you the cool promos of the
Right.
clowns and stuff, but like the trooper and stuff, unfortunately, we didn't shoot. The only thing we got is what we shot on camera.
Okay.
So it's like looks like it's within the movie sort of thing. So which my artist, my digital artist, got real ticked at me whenever we did that because he goes, "Why didn't you shoot them like that too?" And I go, "I don't know. I was too busy trying to make a movie." But like he was saying there, is I think if more people would have opened the door and been a little bit more, and there were some that did, but it's hard to get your foot in the door anywhere. So when somebody like Mark comes and does something like that or
Yeah.
asks something like that, is pay it forward and help these folks out and stuff like that. Don't be a dick and you know
Right.
shut the door on somebody. So that's to get somebody started, you know, and whatever. So I mean, it's let the guy live his dream like I'm getting to live my dream. I'm all for that stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I appreciate that. That's really cool, you know. And you can see on this card. I mean, I have Horror Vault. Like I said, I'll probably switch it back since I want to make that an actual collection. But I will probably also try to do some spin-off cards to add to the mix of the Horror Vault. But I have, like I said, you know, I'm just kind of looking for people. And here's something interesting, and Billy may know. I don't know. I ran across some people that live in Texas, and I mean, I don't know what kind of places these are, but they call themselves horror actors, and they have some of the most awesome. Like, I mean, you know, they get like, I guess they get airbrushed and painted, and they have some prosthetics, and it's just awesome. And I'm like, what, you know, like where are these places? We definitely don't have anything like that in West Virginia.
Right.
And you know, I thought it'd be cool to kind of incorporate some of them horror actors, just to kind of, you know, let people know who they are. So just a little bit of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. That's terrific. Yeah. It's yeah. Everybody should definitely check those out because it's quality work, and it really lends itself. And I know this is part of the reason you did it for people that are going to conventions to take those cards and use them as a way to get autographs
Yeah.
where they don't have to carry a full, 8x10 photograph.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
yeah, and with you know, with the, like I said, I get them professionally printed. You know, on occasion I'll get a few people that are like, "Hey, can I get like 5 cards?" I'm like, "No, I can't really get you 5 cards. I can get you like 50." You
yeah,
know, and then I'm like, it's not like going to a studio. I imagine, and, you know, getting your picture taken for a headshot, and then getting like you know dollar, you know, 8x10s printed. I mean, you know, I kind of try to make it a custom card. I don't try to stamp them out with a template or something. So, I mean, I try to actually put a little bit of work into it. And it's hard to, I mean, it's still kind of a deal. You know, you're still getting a card for under $2 a piece. Man, you know, some of these people can pull like $10 and more by signing it and selling it themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've had them. They make their money back.
Well, mine is usually I have to pay somebody $10 to take my autograph. Usually, and you can tell these people that they come in there wanting 5 cards. Say this ain't fucking Kinkos, buddy. What
That's
is that?
Yeah, I get like a weird number. Can I get like 7? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 7 people I want to give a card to. I'm like, no.
Well, really, I wanted
it's
6, but my
picture.
mom wanted 2. So
Yeah,
that's like 7. Yeah, my mom wanted 2 of them.
yeah. There's that. Of
Can you
course.
put one on a keychain for me?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I haven't thought about that. And that's possible.
Oh shoot. Well, Billy, this has been a lot of fun. Really appreciate you coming on the program. But before I let you go, we've talked a lot about some of the movies that you're working on. is there anything else that you have upcoming, and where can people go to find out more about the things you're working on?
I would just look me up on social media, look up Bloody Bill, and you should find me on Facebook. I got a movie coming out with Joe Bob Briggs through you remember the movie The Barn that come out, the indie movie Come Up North, is Justin Seaman and Zane Herzberger.
Yes.
They're doing an anthology movie called Cryptids. And they tapped me to do the Chupacabra from down south because, I'm down here in Texas. So I did a short for them called Chupacabra Death Machines. And Joe Bob plays the main part in that as the DJ that we're calling into on these shows. So that should be the thing probably coming out before anything for me is Cryptids.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll look forward to that. Yeah, that should be fun.
Now, Bill, you sent me a few images. You sent me the one with you with, I guess it's Mrs. Popcorn.
Oh, Chanel, yeah. She played Tiffany. See, in the movie, she gets her head cut off, Michael, and she gets a vagina sewed in her mouth, and then she gets made love to. See, it's that kind of film, buddy. So it's like Walt Disney. It's Walt Disney level stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I show that picture? Is that cool?
I'm okay with it. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody had seen that, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Look at that.
Yeah, I think we airbrushed the nipple out. So I'm talking about mine.
Oh, that's a good picture.
She was a lot of fun when she come on that set. Now hopefully she won't listen to this, but I was really intimidated by all these people that flew in, but during that movie, Circus of the Dead, my balls dropped and I become a man. And now when I work with her a couple times, I'll just tell them now, hey, you need to zip it up and let me do what I do. All right. So I don't need the peanut gallery. So I love them now, and they're all like friends and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for them in my first movie being so good to me, I would have never learned how to direct or had the confidence to. So her, Bill, Brad, Parrish, all those people, they did me right, did me a solid.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you gotta have friends, especially in the entertainment business.
Well, I love the characters. I mean, I just if we got a minute, Mike, I just want to ask him about where you came up with some of the characters. I mean, how did you come up with the characters? They were pretty awesome.
Well, a lot of them were backstories in my haunted house. I did a haunted house for years. I have a zombie haunted house called DEFCON 1, but then I started a haunted house before the movie even became ideal. It's called Circus of the Dead Murder Maze. And that was a play on words with Captain Spaulding's Murder Ride.
Right.
From House of a Thousand Corpses. So I just knew I wanted to do a clown haunted house, and it kind of come from there. So I go, okay, if there's a leader, what would his name be? And that's, my buddy Lee said Popcorn. And Mr. Blister, he's supposed to be like a daredevil and a sideshow performer, like breathing fire and stuff, I called him Zippo, but there again, it goes back to my entertainment attorney, Brian Landa. He said, you're going to get sued by Zippo, and it's just not worth the trouble. So can you come up with another name? And since he played Mr. Fister in the trailer, I said, okay, he's Mr. Blister, and he's going to be somehow connected with this guy in the 70s. So that Peppy the Mime is like his jaw got ripped off because he talked too much, and he become this mime thing. Dollboy was a pedophile that they cut his junk off, and they use him as a babysitter because what would a deranged group of clowns use to watch little kids other than a pedophile? So it kind of comes from weird things like that. In part 2, there's a new character called the Wild Woman of Borneo, who's like a vegan, and they've tortured her and made her eat human flesh and stuff, but they filed her teeth down and her fingernails and all this, and she's chained up in a cage, but these unfortunate young people that find her let her out of this cage accidentally. So see what happens. But,
oh my Lord!
Interesting. I definitely like all the characters. All the characters are awesome. I just Mr. Blister cracks me up. He's just so calm throughout the whole movie.
Monotone. Well, that's Rusty Edwards. Every clown in there other than Bill they're friends of mine, and I've known their personality for a decade. So all I did was just turn them up to 11 and gave Rusty like the bad habit of smoking because he doesn't smoke in real life. And Ryan plays a kind of a dummy clown, but he's kind of childlike, so that's where he got that from. But Popcorn was myself and Lee's personality. But we already had a big fat clown, so I wanted somebody a little different. That's where we come up with Bill because if I do anything if I do anything in life better than what I did when I cast Bill Oberst to play Popcorn, I'd be surprised. Maybe marrying my wife's the most important thing, but number 2 is going to be Bill playing Popcorn because that guy knocked out of the park. Michael,
Oh, yeah.
you watch the movie. If you say anything, you say, "Hey, this is a little too much for me." You will say Bill Oberst Jr. is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a
watch
great
it.
character.
I'll let you know. I'm gonna watch it.
The fact that he hasn't hit mainstream or something yet and become somebody famous blows my mind. That guy deserves it, and he's just so good and so humble and everything. But he tells you, he always says he's a very religious person, said God cursed him with his face or blessed him with his face, but it's to play bad guys. But if he looked like Brad Pitt or something, I wonder where he would be, you know?
Right.
But I think he's a good looking guy, so don't let people tell you otherwise, Bill.
He knocked that one out of the park, man. That was just
Michael, it's pretty special what Oberst does in that movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, the whole movie, people could flip their finger at it or whatever, but if anybody says that he wasn't good in that movie, I'll say you didn't watch the fucking movie, dude, because I don't care.
Right.
If you hate that movie, there's nobody that should say he did a bad job because that guy killed it.
Oh, he did. And it was, I mean, I'm serious. I was watching, I was going, you know, if you think he can act, watch him and then come back and tell me.
And sitting on set, you guys watching that, I was getting goosebumps, you know, on my arms and my hair was standing up and everything. Yeah. And it was that scene where he's talking to Parrish. Parrish Randall's playing Donald tied up to that chair. And he's in his face, and the slobber and spit was flying, and Parrish was grunting and screaming and stuff. And I started to get goosebumps. It's when you lose yourself when you're filming and you feel like you're inside a movie, I think you're onto something special.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, good job, Mark. Those were good questions.
I think that you know, if anybody's interested in that type of movie, they need to watch it. They you know, and I've seen some of those reviews, and I don't think that people really keep it in mind what they're watching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think right now there's too much sensitivity thrown around for somebody just to jump in that. You know what I'm saying? You need to not be real sensitive when you jump in and watch it.
I've always wondered why people watch certain movies. It's like, do you not know ahead of time a little bit what you're getting in for? If that's not your thing, stay away from it. I don't know.
But you got to give it to you guys. You got to, if you're sleepy and stuff, you go, well, I'm just going to turn this movie on. You got to give it a chance. If you turn it on and then start looking at your phone, and then 10 minutes later you go, oh, I was watching a movie. Oh, it's a shitty movie. Screw this movie. Don't do that. Don't even leave a review if you didn't watch it. If you watched it, leave a review for better or for worse. But if you didn't watch it, don't leave a fucking review.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fair.
Yeah, because you know, and I saw the, you know, some of the reviews, you know, clowns aren't scary. I'm like, you didn't watch the movie.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they are.
I posted what he's talking about, Michael, is I screenshot some Amazon reviews recently where they give it like 1 star and stuff. Another director saying, oh, you need to have thicker skin. I go, well, this isn't about me being upset. It's, if you look at those comments, I'm up to 100, 200 comments on it. See, what that's doing is getting, hey, these people are talking. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's go see. So I got to keep the buzz on the film. So, Mark, when you see me do a lot of that stuff, it's smoke and mirrors, and I'm just trying to be a pimp and pimp it out as much as I can because those algorithms on like Amazon Prime and stuff like that. Because I put it this way, I think I make like 2 pennies every 40 minutes. Every time somebody watches 40 minutes of my movie, I get 2 pennies. Am I going to get rich from this shit? Hell no. I'd be lucky to buy a thing of ramen after a month. So I'm just trying to get the algorithms to go up because I just want bigger opportunities to do bigger movies and stuff. And you're a comic book guy, and me and Rusty's a big comic book guy too that played Lister. Like that Wolverine and stuff, they never done that, right? Yeah, sure, Old Man Logan got a little close, but Wolverine should be vicious, man. It should be brutal. So it's tough. But they need people like me to keep climbing the ladder and get this stuff because I'm going to do that stuff right someday if I get the opportunity. Somebody turned me on to Dread Central posted a thing about Shaolin Cowboy. Shaolin Cowboy.
Yeah.
You know anything about that comment?
I do know a little bit about that.
I didn't know nothing until the day I started looking at it. I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. So if y'all know that artist and stuff on that, he should come to me. I'd love to make that live action movie. So
yeah. I'll see if I can make that happen. Yeah, that's one that my son is real into. He loves that one.
Yeah,
well, I love cowboys and I love kung fu stuff. So there you go.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong.
and you know, that's what I loved about this movie, though. You know, I mean, he made his movie the way he wanted to make it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't, well, we better be PC, so let's cut all this out and let's get rid of that. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of the mainstream characters, all the big characters. But I mean, you watch this, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy actually, he made his movie the way he wanted to make it.
That's right.
You know,
A lot to be said there.
Yeah.
And where it fell short, you guys, is that's the indie part of it. And trust me, I don't think it's a flawless movie. When I grade myself, I think I'm at a 70 or 71 with that movie. So I gave myself a C. You know, and that's not good. I'm struggling, and I really want to try to get to an A on my next movie, but you know, it's harder because sometimes you're limited with money or with actors that you can get and this kind of stuff. So it's a tough thing, and sometimes it's just hitting lightning in a bottle. So let's just hope the next movie, Cowboys from Hell, is better than what this one actually was.
Well, see, now you've been on too spooky, so
yeah,
you better take the phone off the hook because it's going to be ringing.
You'll be telling Mark, you go, we had Billy on there. We got 7 listens last week. What the hell happened?
Oh shoot! Well,
I do a lot of these dang podcasts. You'd be surprised. Like I tell you what, I probably average about 4 or 5 a week, and somebody goes, "Well, is it worth it?" And I go, I mean, you know, if one person out there hears this and goes rent that movie, then it worked. Michael, if you go and watch that movie on Prime and watch it, and you go, hey, it's a pretty good movie, then you know what? Then it was worth it. That's just one person at a time. You go out and shake one hand. Check out my movie. I'm Billy Pon, and you know, thanks for watching. And that's the best I can do, you know, and that's what I'll keep trying to do until things open up bigger doors.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to end it. That's awesome. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate both of you guys coming on. Love hearing about the movies. Billy, you got to come back when Cowboys gets ready to come out. You got to come back and.
Well, y'all keep an eye out. Maybe you get out to the premiere or something. Y'all get out to the premiere or something when we do it.
Heck yeah,
that'd be
Mark,
awesome.
You want to take a road trip?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah, we're there. That'd
be fun, man.
Pre-COVID, I was out, you know, on your end of the country quite a bit, but you know, the last 6 months, not much.
Well, fingers crossed that goes away. Let's hope that goes away soon.
I hope so. All right, guys, hang on. I'm going to hit pause. All right, so that was Bloody Billy Pon. Awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. He's a good guy to talk to because he just seems like a normal guy that has had some ideas and then just kind of chased them down. That's pretty awesome.
It was it was, you know, the stuff that he has, like I said, the stuff that he does, it's awesome because, you know, he's making his stuff. So, right. You know, he's not too worried about what somebody else is going to think about it. He's making his stuff.
Well, you know, I think to me, and of course I haven't seen it yet, but it's similar to the Rob Zombie type of horror. And there's a big following for that stuff. So, you know, we got a lot of people listening. If they like Rob Zombie, they need to go check out Billy Pon on Amazon. Let's check some of that out. You know, I think there's a definite audience for that.
Yeah, I think if you definitely, you know, if you're into the Rob Zombie stuff, you definitely need to check out Billy's stuff because, you know, and like I said, you know, he's got some really good actors on there, like we were talking about, and he just knocked it out of the park. And you really have to watch it though, like he said, you got to watch, you got to pay attention to it, and you got to give it a chance. You know, you got to understand going in, you better not be too sensitive.
Yeah. So, it's not for everybody, but you know, those that like that type of genre probably love it.
Yeah, I loved it. So
well, and he was terrific. I mean, you know, it was he was very gracious. You know, it was very kind to him to offer to talk to Brett and sending us you know, copies of the movies. That's above and beyond. So that's a heck of a guy. You keep bringing good guests, man.
Hey, man, I'm trying to up my game.
I keep saying we're trying to get rid of you, but I think that's why we keep you around.
That's why you can't.
Yeah.
You tell me you're trying to get rid of me, so I'm like, well, then I need to keep digging deeper.
I need to stick around.
No, I bring you Oscar and all those saviors, and then I bring
Tell
you
you
Bloody
what.
Bill.
I know. I thought you were going to hook up Oscar with him to write the graphic novel.
Well,
That's.
talk to him about it. Now, the thing with him, he's got a lot of other stuff going on. So
Oh, I know. Oscar's a busy guy.
he's
a busy
very,
guy.
very busy.
Yeah,
So,
he'd have trouble finding time, I think.
yeah, time will be his issue with that. He's got a lot
All
of
right,
good
well,
stuff going on.
hang tight. Let's wrap this one up, and then we can talk a little bit more. All right, well, thank you everybody for listening. Make sure to check out the dead cards. What's the website, Mark?
It's www.thedeadcards.com.
Yeah, make sure to check that out. It is definitely worth your time, and pick up a set or two. Help this guy out. And please check out our new website, meistercon.com. We would appreciate that. If you feel like donating to the program, you can go to patreon.com/meistercon. And even $1 or $2 would help us out. Why couldn't you give $1 or $2? Come on. Don't be cheap. $5 max. All right. Well, thanks to Billy Pon. Thank you, Mark, for coming back and joining us. And we will talk to everybody again next time. Bye.
See you.
See you.
All right. See you later.